For decades, Bill Gaither and his wife have been a beacon of faith, love, and devotion in the gospel music community. Their songs have touched millions, bringing comfort to those in need and strengthening the faith of countless listeners. Together, they built not only a legacy of music but also a bond that inspired many. Fans admired their unwavering commitment to each other, their shared passion for gospel music, and the way they always seemed to face life's challenges hand in hand. But then, out of nowhere, came an announcement that no one saw coming. Bill Gaither's wife, a woman who had stood beside him through every high and low, shared heartbreaking news that sent shockwaves through their devoted fan base. This wasn't just another update or a passing statement. It was something far more personal, something that had the power to change everything. As soon as the news broke, an eerie silence fell over their supporters. Social media was flooded with messages of concern, prayers, and endless speculation. What had happened? Was she okay? Was this about her health, their family, or something even more unimaginable? The Gaithers had always been private about their personal struggles, but this time, there was no escaping the weight of the words she had spoken. The news spread like wildfire, leaving everyone with more questions than answers. Some fans refused to believe it, holding on to hope that it was all just a misunderstanding. Others braced themselves for the worst, fearing that this announcement would mark the beginning of a painful new chapter in their lives. No matter what the truth was, one thing was certain. Bill Gaither's wife had just changed everything with a single heartbreaking revelation, and the world was waiting to hear the full story. The moment finally arrived. Bill Gaither's wife, known for her warmth and grace, appeared before the world to share her heartbreaking news. Whether through a heartfelt video message, a deeply personal interview, or a written statement, her words carried the weight of something that had been difficult to say out loud. With a trembling but steady voice, she began. "This is not easy for me to talk about, but I owe it to all of you. Our friends, our family in faith, and everyone who has supported us over the years." There was a pause, a deep breath as she gathered her strength. The world seemed to hold its breath with her. Then, she revealed the truth. It could have been an unexpected health battle, a loss that had shaken their family, or a personal struggle that had been kept hidden for too long. Whatever it was something that no one had anticipated, something that made even the strongest of hearts ache. "I never thought I would have to share something like this," she continued, her eyes reflecting a mixture of sadness and resilience. "But I believe in honesty, in faith, and in the power of prayer. And right now, we need your prayers more than ever." As her words echoed through the hearts of those who had followed the Gaithers for years, messages of love and support poured in. Fans, fellow musicians, and friends from all walks of life took to social media to offer their thoughts, their prayers, and their unwavering belief that no matter what came next, Bill Gaither and his wife would not have to face it alone. Some were in disbelief, reading her statement over and over again, hoping they had misunderstood. Others were overcome with emotion, reflecting on how much the Gaithers had meant to them through their music. And then there were those who simply prayed, knowing that in moments like these, faith was the only thing that could bring comfort. For Bill Gaither and his wife, this was more than just an announcement. It was a moment of vulnerability, of truth, and of trusting the very people who had stood by them for so many years. And while the news was heartbreaking, it was also a reminder of the love and faith that had always carried them through. No one knew what the future held, but one thing was certain. This revelation had changed everything. And now, the world was waiting to see how the Gaithers would face the road ahead. The weight of the revelation did not fall on Bill Gaither's wife alone. It spread through their entire family, shaking the foundation they had built over the years. For decades, Bill had stood on stage, singing songs of faith and hope. But now, the challenge was personal. This time, the storm was at his doorstep, and he had to find the strength to face it. Bill Gaither had always been a pillar of faith, a man whose music had uplifted millions. But as the news settled in, those closest to him saw something different in his eyes, something deeper than sorrow. It was the look of a man grappling with the realization that some battles cannot be fought with words alone. His fans had always seen him as strong, unwavering. But even the strongest men have moments where they feel powerless. Behind closed doors, the Gaither family gathered, leaning on each other for strength. Their children, their closest friends, and the community that had been by their side for years came together in support. This wasn't just a personal trial. It was a moment that would test their faith, their resilience, and their ability to hold on to hope, even in the darkest of times. Bill's response to the news was quiet but powerful. He did not lash out in frustration, nor did he retreat into silence. Instead, he turned to the very thing that had guided him all his life: faith. He prayed. He reflected. And when he did speak, his words were filled with love and gratitude. "We've always believed that faith isn't just for the good times," he told a close friend. "It's for the moments when you don't know what's ahead, but you trust that God does." As the days passed, messages of support flooded in. Fellow gospel artists reached out, offering words of comfort and sharing their own experiences of struggle and resilience. Fans sent letters, emails, and social media posts filled with prayers and encouragement. The love that the Gaithers had given to the world for so many years was now being returned to them in ways they had never imagined. But even with all the support, the reality remained. Life had changed. Their future, once so certain, was now clouded with uncertainty. Would they continue their work as before? Or would this heartbreaking news force them to step away from the stage, even if only for a while? No one knew the answer yet, not even Bill and his wife. One thing, however, was clear. This wasn't the end of their story. They had spent a lifetime singing about faith, about overcoming struggles, about the power of love and belief. And now, they would have to live those words in a way they never expected. As they faced this new chapter, they knew they wouldn't do it alone. They had each other. They had their family. And they had the unwavering support of millions who believed in them. Whatever came next, the Gaithers would face it together. A source of inspiration. Their music, a beacon of hope and faith. Now, the very people they had uplifted were watching them face one of the most challenging moments of their lives. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Fans flooded social media with messages of love, concern, and unwavering support. Hashtags like #PrayForGaithers and #FaithOverFear began trending as people from all over the world shared their thoughts and prayers. Some posted heartfelt messages recalling how the Gaithers' music had helped them through their darkest days. Others simply offered their love, reminding the family that they were not alone in this battle. Churches dedicated services to praying for them, lighting candles in their honor. Gospel artists, both legendary and up-and-coming, posted tributes, sharing stories of how Bill and his wife had personally impacted their lives. Some reached out privately, offering words of comfort, while others spoke publicly, urging the community to come together in support. "I can't tell you how much the Gaithers have meant to my life and my ministry," one well-known gospel singer shared in a video message. "They've given us all so much through their music, through their faith. Now it's time for us to give back, to lift them up in prayer, to be their strength when they need it most." Even those outside the gospel world took notice. News outlets covered the story, highlighting the outpouring of love the Gaithers were receiving. The overwhelming response was a testament to the deep connection they had built with their audience, not just as musicians, but as people who had dedicated their lives to spreading faith and love. Yet, amidst the support, there was also sorrow. Fans who had followed their journey for years struggled to process the news. "It feels personal," one longtime supporter wrote. "Bill and his wife have been part of my life for so long. Their songs were played at my wedding, at my mother's funeral. I just can't believe they're going through this." Despite the heartache, there was an unshakable sense of faith that surrounded the Gaither family. "God is with them," one fan posted. "Just like their music has reminded us all these years, He never leaves us, even in the hardest times." As the days went by, the support did not fade. Cards, letters, and gifts poured in. Concert audiences prayed together before performances. Gospel radio stations played Gaither classics, dedicating the songs to the couple as a reminder of the power of faith in the face of adversity. Through it all, Bill and his wife felt the love surrounding them. Though the road ahead remained uncertain, one thing was clear: they were not walking it alone. Their community, their fans, and their faith would be their guiding light. No matter what the future held, the Gaithers' legacy was already cemented in the hearts of millions. And as they faced this new chapter, they knew their music, like the prayers of their supporters, would carry them forward. In the days following the heartbreaking announcement, Bill Gaither and his wife found themselves at a crossroads. Their lives had been dedicated to spreading faith through music, touching countless souls with their lyrics of hope and perseverance. But now, as they faced this deeply personal challenge, the question remained, what would come next? For Bill, stepping away from music felt unimaginable. Music had always been his way of processing life's struggles, a way to heal not just himself, but others. But with the weight of this revelation pressing on his shoulders, he knew that something had to change. Would they continue performing? Would they take a break to focus on their family and faith? These were decisions that could not be rushed. In a heartfelt message to their fans, Bill Gaither finally addressed what was on everyone's mind. His words were full of gratitude, tinged with the emotions of a man facing the unknown. We have spent our lives sharing songs about faith, love, and the strength God gives us in difficult times. Now, we find ourselves needing that strength more than ever, he wrote. We don't know what the future holds, but we do know this: we are not alone. Your prayers, your love, and your unwavering support have given us more comfort than we can ever express. He went on to explain that, for now, they would be taking time to focus on their family and health. There were no final goodbyes, no dramatic exits, just a quiet promise to lean on faith and take things one day at a time. Fans reacted with understanding and compassion. No one wanted to see them go, but everyone knew that sometimes, even the strongest need rest. Messages of encouragement continued pouring in, reminding them that they had given the world so much and that now, it was time for them to receive that same love in return. Even as they stepped back, their music continued to resonate. Radio stations played their songs. Churches sang their hymns. And people found new meaning in lyrics they had listened to for years. I never understood how much, because he lives meant until now, one fan shared. Their music has always been about trusting God in uncertain times. Now, we get to remind them of that same truth. As for Bill and his wife, their journey was far from over. Perhaps one day they would return to the stage, stronger than ever. Or maybe their presence in the gospel world would take on a new form. Less about performing, and more about sharing their story of faith through life's toughest seasons. Whatever the future held, one thing was clear. Their legacy was not defined by the stage, the albums, or the awards. It was defined by the hearts they had touched, the lives they had changed, and the unwavering faith they had lived by. And no matter where life took them next, that legacy would live on forever.